So, coming to our next speaker later, guys, we will have a question and answer portion. We have a discussion session after second speaker initially, and then for the rest of the team at the end as well. So please keep on putting your questions in the Q&A. We have two ladies over there, Angelique Tavera and Krisa Lilagan, who are actually consolidating your questions. Later, we will have a long extended period of discussion to get feedback from you. Our next speaker, Miss Lalaine Villafuerte Abonal, graduated with a degree in economics from the University of the Philippines. She is the president of eAsia Outsourcing and Marketing Services and owns the registered trademark Coconut Republic. Lalaine is the founding president of a non-stock, non-profit Organic Farmers and Processors Association in the Philippines from 2009 to the present. And it's the first and only trade association in the Philippines that holds the distinction of having 100% of its members having USDA and European organic certifications. So this is the other side of what Sir Rene was talking about. She has been a writer of several books, including Coconut Philippines. This book was recipient of an honorable mention award in an international competition. There's Moringa Philippines, Abaca Philippines, 101 Lessons of a Buying Agent for a Foreign Company, IT Outsourcing Opportunities in the Philippines, and then soon to be published will be a cookbook on sap-based coconut sap-based cookbook. So I will now call on Miss Lalaine Abonal to speak with us on her discussion, on her topic.
Hi. Thank you
Just
for
say your
the
name.
thank you for the kind introduction, Nancy. A happy Wednesday and healthy Wednesday to everyone watching. First of all, I would like to thank everyone, the Philippine-American Academy of Scientists and Engineers. Special mention to Miss Gisela Concepcion for giving me the invitation and the privilege to share my thoughts and some research findings on coconut sap sugar in relation to COVID-19 and the new normal, how these products relate to the pandemic. As our topic for this session is agribusiness and agri-technologies in the new normal. Um, I am not a scientist. I wish I were. Almost everybody here are doctor. So I'm an entrepreneur, an expert manufacturer and trader. I enjoy marketing Philippine-made products for export, and I really enjoy doing product development. But you see, all of these things would not have been made possible without the valuable work and contribution of scientists. Oh my God, you're all super important. So, in the likes of our very own Doctora Trinidad from the um, Department of Science and Technology and the FNRI, because Dr. Trinidad, she did a lot of studies on coconut sugar and syrup in particular. And we need so much the support and research work of all you scientists. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I salute PAASE for conducting such sessions. I hope, trust, and pray that my little talk today will inspire a lot of your members to do more creative research, not just on coconut sap in particular, so that we can discover new things about it, but at the same time with other talk, give you a little idea. Can I share my slide about my products before I go to the main talk? Can you, okay. I don't know if you can see the slides.
Yes.
All right.
Can.
So somebody here is helping me technically how to. Okay, I excuse me. My company basically exports. I export 100% from 2009 to the present. I have not been selling locally yet, but I plan to start probably before the end of the year. So we do coconut lechon sauce. We have coconut fish sauce, coconut chili sauce, coconut tomato ketchup. Um, Everything has coconut sap in it. Later, I'll explain what coconut sap is. I have been exporting since 2009 to the present, mostly to the USA as my main market. My best seller is the coconut seasoning, more than the coconut sugar and syrup. It's 60% less sodium, than the soy-based seasoning. So these are just photos of our products. I export for the past 10 years in drums, not in retail bottles, in container loads. I'll quickly go over all these photos quickly because of time limitation. This is our manufacturing facility in Camarines Sur. That's the side view of the building. That's the lobby. That's the inside where we produce our coconut sugar and other sauces. This is our coconut lechon sauce, a healthier alternative to Mang Tomas. Later, I'll explain what the ingredients are. Okay, so my topic is the coconut sap miracle. I will basically focus on the coconut sugar and syrup and how it relates to COVID. Please allow me, I'm sorry if I talk fast. I will be talking a
No,
little
it's okay. It's
because my
okay.
slides, I don't want to be over time. Okay, first I will relate the coconut sap and how it will affect our immune system, especially these days of the COVID pandemic. There's an author in America, he's an ophthalmologist. He is the founder and president of Cure Age-Related Macular Degeneration Foundation. He authored a book called Ancestral Dietary Strategy to Prevent and Treat Macular Degeneration. That's his photo there in the book. According to this author, this doctor, between 1851 to 1930, or a span of 79 years, there were only not more than 50 reported cases of macular degeneration in medical literature. Right now, macular degeneration is the number one cause of blindness among the elderly in the US. Uh, According to this author, in 1975, there were only 4.5 million Americans with macular degeneration. In the year 1994, it jumped to 15 million. And as we speak, in this year 2020, there's now an estimated 196 million people worldwide with macular degeneration. So how does it relate to our products, the coconut sap and the pandemic right now? According to this doctor, age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, is not caused by aging or genetics, but by processed foods. There are four toxic ingredients in processed foods causing a majority of chronic health problems. There are four. He identified four. It's in my slide. Number one is the refined added sugar. Number two, refined wheat flour. Number three, polyunsaturated vegetable oils. Number four, trans fats. But for the sake of my talk, I will focus only on number one, refined added sugar, because I will have to connect it with our product, the coconut sap sugar, which is minimally processed and is not categorized under a refined sugar. Okay, according to the author, ophthalmologist Dr. Chris Kenobi, he said that processed foods cause mitochondrial dysfunction, which in turn leads to chronic diseases of all kinds, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and macular degeneration. Here, I will quote him. He said that when I say processed man-made nutrient deficient toxic foods, that is really just four things. It is really fairly simple, quote unquote, from this doctor. He said that the nutrient deficient foods, which are refined, again, I repeat, number one is the refined added sugars, refined wheat flour, and the vegetable oils. Polyunsaturated vegetable oils include canola, the what they call this soy oil, all these other polyunsaturated oils, and trans fats. A coconut oil, just on a side note, is under a saturated vegetable oil, so it's not included there. And coconut oil has no trans fats. Okay, so that's one author, one doctor. There's another one, just to emphasize um, about all these processed foods and how it harms our immune system. Another doctor by the name of Dr. Paul Saladino, he's a board certified psychiatrist and also board certified in nutrition. He authored a book, which is on my slide, The Carnivore Code, Unlocking the Secrets to Optimal Health by Returning to Our Ancestral Diet. According to the second doctor in his book, he stated that your metabolic health has significant impact on COVID severity, and at least 9 in 10 Americans are metabolically unhealthy. In his book, this doctor discusses the impact metabolic health has on COVID-19 outcomes. He stated that metabolic health determines your COVID-19 risk. And his top recommendations to improve metabolic flexibility and insulin sensitivity include, again, number one, eliminating processed refined sugars, carbohydrates, grains, and vegetable oils. He also itemized four, almost very similar to the first author that I showed earlier. And he said that from a food perspective, these are the key evils that are really working havoc on our metabolism. Again, for my brief talk, I will focus on the only one out of the four recommendation, which is eliminating processed sugars or sweeteners. So according to these two US doctors that authored these two different books, there is truly compelling evidence that eating processed foods, which includes refined sugars, sweeteners, which is one of the top four categories of processed foods, it will increase insulin resistance and metabolic inflexibility, which is now shown as one of the two largest risk factors for COVID-19, the other being vitamin D insufficiency. I hope, sorry, I'm not talking too fast. But I hope you can just distribute the slides if like I'm talking too fast. Okay, now a short review of historical data from these two doctors. Earlier, the first doctor, Dr. Chris Kinobe, the ophthalmologist, mentioned that macular degeneration was virtually unknown for 79 years. In the same manner, diabetes was also extremely rare in the 19th century. The first study on diabetes was first published in 1935. As you can see from my slide, from 1935 to 2015, there has been a 25-fold increase in 80 years of diabetes because of our diet. And also with cancer. In the year 1900, cancer killed 1 in 17 people. But today, wow, cancer accounts for 31.2% of deaths, or nearly 1 in 3 people, all because of processed foods. Another doctor by the name of Dr. James Herrick, he's an American physician and professor of medicine. He published in JAMA, J-A-M-A, a landmark paper on the first known heart attack in the US, with documented autopsy evidence in the year 1912. Now, 30 years later, in the 1930s, heart disease became the leading cause of death. It was virtually unknown in the 1900s. Nobody knew what a heart attack was. Nobody had seen one yet. But again, because of our processed foods, because of our diet, you can see the rise in all these ailments, from diabetes to cancer, heart ailment, including macular degeneration. Okay, another connection of eating healthy, avoiding processed foods, and substituting refined sugar with coconut sap sugar and syrup is, on my slide, it shows that the Institute of Natural Health revealed a new study that high levels of the stress hormone cortisol is linked to a greater risk of death in coronavirus patients. Too much of cortisol can impair immune function and increase the risk of infection and serious illness. During this time of pandemic, a lot of people now are so stressed, just the thought of getting COVID or their family getting COVID, and everybody's stress hormone now is rising because like people are losing their jobs and all these other problems brought about by the pandemic. So there's a study published in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology. The researchers looked at cortisol in 535 patients, and 403 or 75 patients that they looked at had COVID-19. Normal daytime cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are between 100 and 200 nm/L. They drop to zero now when we sleep. But the 75% of the patients that had COVID-19 had readings of cortisol as high as 3,241. The higher their cortisol levels, the more likely they were to get sicker and die of COVID-19. According to the study, this is just very recent, just like a month ago, those with readings of 744 or less cortisol level, they lived 36 days on average, and those above 744 survived just 15 days. So now it's very important for people during this time of pandemic to reduce our stress hormone, the cortisol. There's a drug or a pharmaceutical called dexamethasone that, according to the study, reduces cortisol that could potentially be an effective treatment for COVID-19. So this drug, this steroid drug, dexamethasone, was tested in a major clinical trial of 6,425 patients in Britain It reduced deaths by a third among COVID-19 patients on ventilators and by a fifth among patients in less serious condition. But there are a lot of people just like me. Um, I prefer personally natural over taking synthetic pharmaceutical drugs, if at all possible. So because there's a downside to the steroid drug dexamethasone, and the side effect of the steroid medication that will supposed to reduce your cortisol level, the side effects include insomnia, weight gain, heartburn, muscle weakness, and higher blood sugar levels. So it's not good because you're trying to avoid all these, especially those with pre-existing conditions that are, will be endangered with the COVID. And then now you take this drug to lower your cortisol, then you have this side effect, including increasing your blood sugar level. However, um, I'm trying to get my other slide. Okay. However, high cortisol levels can be damaging whether or not you have COVID, right? But pandemic-related stress could raise your cortisol. But there are four natural ways to lower cortisol without dangerous medications. There are four, according to the research of the Institute of Natural Health. They recommended four natural ways to lower your stress hormone cortisol. The number one is avoiding high glycemic foods. So coconut sugar and syrup, which I'm promoting, the products that I am exporting, are low glycemic, meaning it will not cause spikes in your blood sugar. Minimizing refined sugar in the diet will reduce your cortisol. There are four natural ways. Number two is taking a walk. Number three, take lutein and zeaxanthin. And four, spend less time outdoors. But allow me, I will only focus on the number one, which is avoiding high glycemic foods. Um, a lot of doctors are recommending that we maintain a low glycemic diet because it prevents heart attack, it prevents strokes, it prevents diabetes, and other ailments. And so, what are our options now or solutions, especially for most of us who crave and love to eat sweets? Like me, I love ice cream and chocolate, pastries, donuts. A lot of doctors and practitioners, medical practitioners will advise patients change your diet by limiting or better yet, totally avoiding refined sugars, which are found in most of the processed foods that we eat. However, it's kind of hard to do, if not impossible to accomplish, because most people like me have a sweet tooth and crave for sweets. As proof, a little information here, like a lot of people drink Coke. 12 ounces of Coke already contain 2.3 tablespoons of refined sugar. And in America alone, they consume 10 billion donuts a year. In the US, they eat 100 million cakes a year. There are 1 billion people that eat chocolates every day, around 11 pounds per person average. And we consume, in the US alone, in the year 2017, at least 1.4 billion gallons of ice cream. So here you can see it's kind of difficult, with all these people craving to eat these sweets. But more important than that, most of the food and drinks in the market contain refined sugar without us, the consuming public, knowing about it. They kind of like hide it, unless you really check out the ingredient listing. For example, low-fat yogurt, a cup can contain 11 teaspoons of refined sugar. Imagine just taking a single cup of 245 grams. It's like gobbling up 11 teaspoons of refined sugar. And yogurt's supposed to be healthy. I guess not all yogurt, but most. Barbecue sauce. 2 tablespoons of popular brands of barbecue sauce can contain 2 teaspoons of refined sugar. That's why my company, we came up with a healthier version. We have a coconut barbecue sauce. We don't use refined sugar. We use coconut sap sugar, which is low glycemic and minimally processed. And an example, another one is ketchup. A single tablespoon of ketchup can contain 1 teaspoon. Can you imagine? 1 tablespoon of ketchup already includes like you're gobbling up 1 teaspoon of refined sugar. Uh, we have a coconut ketchup, a healthier alternative. And also sports drink, A standard 20-ounce bottle can contain, wow, 9.5 teaspoons of refined sugar. No wonder we have problems with obesity and diabetes, heart problems, stroke, and cancer. Because refined sugar um, enhances or promotes cancer cells. Okay, those are just a little bit of some a sample, but fruit juices, chocolate milk, iced tea, flavored coffee, vitamin water, cereals, protein bar, pre-made soups, canned fruits, and many more also contain refined sugar. So the reality is that there are plenty of unlikely foods that contain more sugar than you think, which makes it even more difficult to totally avoid or totally eliminate refined sugar in our diet. I'm so thankful for PAASE for this opportunity to discuss the health benefits of coconut sap sugar in syrup, a healthier alternative to the refined sugar. Because if there are people who are manufacturers of food, hopefully you can help the populace to eat healthier by incorporating or at least changing the refined sugar in your recipes using healthier sugars. Not all sugars are created equal. And that's how we can connect um, what we eat. We are what we eat. How we can connect processed foods, specifically the dangers of refined white sugar, to the COVID-19 and the new normal. We have to make changes in our own individual eating habits and diet. And if you have a sweet tooth, don't worry. You have a solution if you don't want to totally avoid sugar. So not all sugars are created equal. Coconut sap sugar and coconut sap syrup are healthier alternatives to refined sugars. I'm so excited and so happy to discuss now with you in this part of my talk the health benefits of coconut sap sugar and syrup, which is the antithesis, the total opposite of what the refined white sugar is offering. Coconut sugar and coconut syrup are made from 100% coconut sap. Coconut sap is the liquid that drips from cut flower buds of the coconut tree. Coconut sap is like the blood of the whole coconut tree, from the roots to the trunk to the leaves to the nut. That's the one that gives nourishment. It has the same pH as the human blood. That's the miracle of the coconut sap because only God can make a tree. And it's so amazing that you can see on my slide that the coconut flowers, that's the same. The flowers, it turns out into the nut. I'm sorry I wasn't able to include a picture of the metamorphosis, just like the caterpillar. It turns into a beautiful butterfly. These flowers that where the sap comes from, it's this is all source of the nut itself. But the coconut, that's separate from the flowers because the nut produces the milk, the coconut meat, and the coconut water. But the coconut sap, that's the liquid that drips out of the flowers. That's where we get our coconut sap, our ingredients for all our coconut sap-based sauces, which includes the coconut sugar and syrup. But we have more, but for limited time, I'll focus only on the sweeteners. So coconut sap is a superfood, just like coconut oil and coconut water. There are a lot of authors in America. Because of limited time, I cannot include their book. The books are entitled something like the top 10 superfoods in the world. Coconut is always in the top 10. But only a few people know about coconut sap because these authors are only focusing on the coconut, the nut itself, not the flowers, not the sap. They're focusing on the virgin coconut oil and the healing of the coconut water. So coconut sap sugar and syrup are definitely one of the most promising high-value products in the market today. All our products contain coconut sap. That's our secret. It's a health in a bottle. Okay, now these are the health benefits of coconut sap sugar and syrup. I enumerated 6. Both coconut sap and sugar, both coconut sap sugar and syrup are low glycemic. If you will remember the first author and the second author, including the cortisol, they recommended avoid high glycemic foods, right? And then the other author said avoid all these processed foods because it will cause diabetes. Okay, a human in vivo study in 2009 led by Dr. Trinidad, FNR, Food Nutrition Research Institute, they conducted a human in vivo study. We commissioned them. Our company paid them. It's a private undertaking to do a study on both sugar and syrup on the glycemic index. I did that in 2009 before I started exporting because I wanted to find out if even the syrup would also prove to be low glycemic. And thank God for Dr. Trinidad, all you scientists out there, the DOST, FNRI, because without all these studies, your vision and all these things you're doing, how can we sell? How can we claim all these things? We wouldn't know. So, so coconut sugar was found to have a low glycemic index of 35 to 39, and coconut syrup had a glycemic index of 39. Refined white sugar, on the other hand, has a glycemic of index of 75. It's very high. Even honey, which is considered a healthy food, has upper 70s glycemic index. So if you're diabetic, you don't want to cause spikes in your sugar, we suggest taking coconut sugar and syrup. Another health benefit of coconut sugar in syrup is that it reduces bad cholesterol and it's good for heart health. This is, again, according to a one-year study worth 2 million, thereabout, funded by the Department of Science and Technology. It's a public and private partnership between my company. I supplied all their samples for 1 year as they were conducting this study. DOST funded it in cooperation with the Food and Nutrition Research Institute. Again, the project team leader is Dr. Trinidad. She's the expert here on all these studies. And their findings is that the fermentable inulin present in both coconut sap, sugar syrup produce propionate in greater quantities than acetate and butyrate. Propionate had been shown to inhibit cholesterol synthesis. Okay, there's about 4.57% of inulin based on our US lab test found in both coconut sap, sugar, and syrup. It has fructo-oligosaccharide, while it contains sucrose. What makes it low glycemic? People are asking, oh, it has sucrose, so how come it's low glycemic? Because it has fructo-oligosaccharide in the inulin, which lowers the glycemic index. So can you imagine all these other sugar, the refined sugar, especially the artificial sweeteners, can cause you heart problems and cholesterol issues. But I would be happy just for the coconut sugar syrup to have low glycemic as one health benefit. So this is another bonus that, it reduces cholesterol and it's good for your heart health. Again, thank you for the Filipino scientists for um, embarking on such studies. And then the third health benefit, based on a June 2020 US lab test, I submitted our coconut sugar and syrup to a US laboratory. The results came out in June 2020. It showed that the coconut sugar contained 3 out of 8 essential glyconutrients, and coconut syrup contained 4 out of the 8 naturally occurring essential glyconutrients. Essential glyconutrients are the healing sugars. And the most significant glyconutrient found is fucose. Because of limited time, there are several other glyconutrients present, but I'll focus only on one, and that is fucose. Fucose is a rare type of sugar that is abundant in human breast milk and certain seaweeds and mushrooms. It's a healing sugar, a sweet nutrient. It amazes me that coconut oil, the number one health benefit in coconut oil, the medium chain fatty acid is called lauric acid, very abundant in coconut oil. That's the important nutrient found in coconut oil. And the lauric acid is also found in human breast milk. It's, it's like it comes out in the colostrum of the human breast milk. It helps in the immune boosting uh, function, for newborns. And again, that's for the nut, that's for coconut oil. But for coconut sap, fucose is also abundant, um, which is also abundant in human breast milk, naturally occurring. And based on the US study, the coconut sap sugar has 39% fucose. That's 39 grams for every 100 grams. And the coconut sap syrup has higher fucose, 42%, around 42 grams for every 100 grams. That's kind of significant. And fucose plays an active role in immune function and in red blood cell function. And fucose inhibits tumor growth and its spread. Fucose has the ability to guard against respiratory tract infections. And these are the other health benefits of fucose. It inhibits the ability of bacteria to adhere to cells, without which infection cannot occur. And fucose studies show it may help treat the most dangerous form of skin cancer, melanoma. There are many other benefits. You can just Google all about fucose, an essential glyconutrient. Um, this is so amazing for me. It's such a miracle that not only the coconut sap sugar in syrup is low glycemic, that alone gives a lot of health benefits, but to eat a sweetener that will even, prevent anti-cancer and anti-tumor formation, ooh, that's bonus. So I guess everybody should really start focusing on this. Is like a good opportunity. The topic today is agribusiness, agri-technology in the new normal. We are very rich in coconut and other plants in the Philippines that can help in the health and wellness and boost our immune system. All right. And the fourth health benefit is that coconut sap sugar in syrup also contains vitamins, minerals, and amino acid. Again, as per the research study of Dr. Trinidad of the FNRI. And based on their research study, they categorized coconut sap sugar in syrup as a functional food. It's like, I think, categorized also as a nutraceutical. Another health benefit, number 5, is that the coconut sugar in syrup, as per lab tests in the US, contains inulin, which is a prebiotic. Prebiotics stimulate the growth of healthy bacteria in our gut, enhancing digestion and metabolism. According to medical experts, 70% of our immune system depends on the health of our gut. So this is how it relates to the um, COVID and the new normal. You have to improve your immune system. The number 6 health benefit of coconut sap sugar and syrup is that it contains inositol. And there are at least 4 evidence-based health benefits of inositol. It reduces anxiety by affecting serotonin. It aids in blood sugar control by improving insulin sensitivity. For women, it normalizes menstruation and ovulation and promotes fertility. And it reduces symptoms of depression. That's the end of my presentation, and I am coming up with a book, the Coconut Sap book, and for those interested to receive a free copy, electronic copy, because of time constraints, I can only discuss uh, about the sugar and the sweeteners, but I'm posting my email. So once my book is out, I will just email me and I can give you a free electronic copy of the health benefits and the book that I'm working on. There are 2 books. It's all about the coconut sap health benefits. Number 2 is a cookbook. We have more than 180 recipes, how to use coconut sap. I have a chapter there specifically on coconut seasoning and the 15 health benefits over soy-based seasoning, because we are soy-free. There are 15 health benefits. One of them is that we are 60% less sodium. So that's just one of 15. I have no more time to discuss, but if you're interested to get a free copy of the book, once it's out, you may just email me and I will give you an electronic copy. Thank you. That's all for now. I
Thank
hope I'm
you
not
very
talking.
much. Amazing discussion, Ma'am Lalaine. And you have really convinced me to change to coconut sugar. Just one question. One, there's one that came around that says, what is the difficulty in distributing in the Philippines so far, and why your products are not available on the market? And second is, what opportunities do you really see for the local distributors? Do you have enough coconut sugar? If let's say the whole world changes to coconut sugar, what will be the difficulties of moving in that direction
Okay.
after this COVID-19?
Thank you for your important questions. To answer question number 1, for the past 9, almost 10 years, 2009 to present, I am not my company. I'm not really selling or distributing locally. I'm exporting in drums, but starting now because of the COVID, I will now promote locally. and sell. But there are other. I'm a member. I'm the founding president of the Organic Farmers and Processors Association of the Philippines, and all our members are 100% organic certified. All our members are 100% kosher certified. We are nationwide. We're a lot of producers, and we can supply the local market. However, sad to say, a little bit more expensive. You know, the coconut sugar, of course, a little bit more expensive than the refined white sugar. But on the long run, it's better to take care of your health because if you're hospitalized because of all these ailments, then you will spend more money.
Yeah.
So, but if the government, if the Department of Agriculture will help support the industry, then hopefully, the price will be lowered. And the second question was, I'm sorry, what?
In the light of these opportunities in the new normal, what if we do decide that we want to move in this direction as a country for the development of an industry? What would you think are the biggest constraints? How is it going to be difficult if, let's say, the whole world wants coconut sugar, for example?
Okay. Before I answer that question, I would like to add, after the pandemic, my buyer in the US and Australia, they increased their sales. Like
Okay.
just like 10 days ago. That's why the potential is there because people now are becoming more health conscious. They want to eat healthy. They want to boost their immune system. They're having all this stress related, uh, you know, pandemic stress related issues now. And they try, and food is an essential thing. People focus on food. They don't buy furniture. There are a lot of exporters of furniture right now, exporter of whatever, electronic or other items. But I think food is an essential. And they prefer like all these organic healthy food because if you're going to ask me, it's better to boost your immunity naturally than take all the vaccine, which are artificial immunizations. So try to eat healthy, and the potential is there for exporters. Not just the coconut sugar or syrup, other products that have, like for example, turmeric, curcumin, not just coconut, so many things, so many Philippine plants um, that would be very good to export if you will focus on product development, if all you scientists will help us more discover all the evidence that we can claim for such natural products. Um, and for the people who are locally, it will be good if you generate income. For example, a lot of people now, I know two pilots that no work, no pay. So they're now resorting to selling food online.
Right,
If you
right.
want to sell, why not sell? Maybe you can develop a diabetic friendly donut. Like instead of coming up with the using refined sugar, then try to do an alternative to other food and use this sweetener. You have so many creative opportunities to use this. Not just the sugar. The second one is refined
Fine.
flours. Another
Right.
alternative there, which I don't have time to discuss, is coconut flour. It
Okay.
it has
Okay.
it has butyric acid that can lower also your blood sugar.
Right. So yeah, indeed, coconut is their national tree, a national tree for all of us. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Lalaine. You'll just hold stand out later. We're going to have a bigger discussion. The questions are coming in, and then we'll have after the next five talks.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. See you later.
All right.